Hi there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading. This is Yetta Pearl, and this is your reading for the week of September 27th through October 3rd of 2021. So because it's a general reading, that means that it's a group. So before I start getting the cards out, I sit with all the guardian angels. I read a little bit about Cancer and characteristics of Cancer, and I invite all your guardian angels to come and contribute to the message. So in that way, it gets to be a message for like the majority, kind of, right? And so some parts of this may not resonate with you if you're not in the majority, and that's what's happening in your life. So take the parts that do and leave the rest. They're just for somebody else, no problem. So just about got all the cards out. Crazy to me that it's October. What? Like, yeah, like how did that happen, right? I don't understand. It's all right. We go on minute by minute, don't we? And that's how it all goes. And pretty soon the minutes have all added up into all this time. And I just hope that your time has been beautiful in the majority, right? So let's see what your angels want you to know about this week. So give me a second here. Okay. Awesome. Wow, a mixed, like a whole bunch of different messages. A lot of times there's kind of a common theme, and there might end up being one once we get kind of into these a little deeper. But it looks like a lot of different things. So first thing they want you to think about is, what do you want? If you think about life as it is right now in your world, all day, every day, is this what you want? If not, what do you want? It's up to you. You get to decide. So, the actions of other people, the actions are, the general feeling of the world around you. You don't get to determine anybody else's behavior or things like that. What you determine is your response to it. So by changing your point of view, can you, they want me to clarify that. They don't want you to change your opinion about things. They want you to change how you react to those things, right? So your opinion would stay the same, unless you're presented with new information. But the way you react to them. So instead of being upset and angry and threatened and fearful, take a breath, sit back, understand that those people don't understand things the same way you do, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? That's the part that is hard. There's nothing wrong with that. They can think how they think, and you can think how you think. You don't have to be, in the mainstream. You can think whatever you want. And when you are sitting here going, what do you desire? Then you picture your world, the whole world, as you want it. And that raises the whole vibration of the world. And quite literally, the entire world. And so then things in your part of it can come to pass because you have no more resistance to it. As soon as you feel bad about something, you're creating resistance to it. As soon as you think somebody else is wrong and you're sitting in judgment of them, then you're creating resistance to it. And what you want cannot actually get to you because you've created the barriers, right? So when you're sitting there and you are picturing your perfect world and what exactly you want and when you want it and how you want it, picture it all being easy and smooth and that it feels just divine, right? And that removes those barriers. And then next time somebody says something that you disagree with, just say, okay. Yeah, that's what your angels are saying to you. So, so, I have full confidence when the angels say things like that to me, that they say that because you are capable of doing it, right? So there's never one of this, oh yeah, that's bad advice because I can't possibly accomplish that. It's never that. You are always capable of accomplishing that because your angels said, right? Like they don't give you advice that you can't take. They only give you advice that you can accomplish. Yes. Okay. Oh, peace. So, obviously I glanced at the cards, but when I have one up here, I'm channeling about it only, and I kind of tend to forget what the other cards are saying. So, peace. It brings peace. When you can really let yourself be at peace, that creates that in your whole world. And then no matter what anybody else does, it doesn't matter because they can't rock you because you're solid, right? And you are the solid one. That's how everybody thinks of you. You're the solid one. You're the one that knows what you're doing. You're the one that isn't influenced unduly by exterior events, right? And so let yourself be that. It feels like you've been kind of knocked off your pins for a while. And it's time to get back to this peace. It's time to get back to the point where you know who you are and you know what you're doing. Because it's only for you. Yes, it's time. Okay. You have an important life purpose involving communication and the arts. Please don't allow insecurities to hold you back. I will help you. This is Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Gabriel is the angel of communication. So anytime that you have something to say that you want it to be understood, keep in mind this week also, or I don't actually know for how long it's supposed to be, Mercury retrograde is happening, which does tend to interrupt technology and communication and things like that. So be very, very diligent. You can still do things. You can still even make contracts. You definitely still have conversations and definitely still communicate. You just have to be a bit more cautious to dot the I's and cross the T's, right? So when you're having a time where you do have to have a communication with somebody that is important, something that you both need to be understanding the same things in the same way, call upon Archangel Gabriel to come. And now I always think she, some people say he, doesn't matter. It's all good. And so she will come and assist, guide your words, guide your communication, guide, how the whole thing goes. And you just have to allow that. So it's really good. Your communication, cancers are known for communication. Sometimes it is different communication than other people can understand. So even though you feel like you're doing okay with that, just kind of check in with the other person and make sure that they're getting it the same as you are. Yeah, be diligent. And so this communication, it really determines kind of everything in our whole world. If you cannot communicate in effective ways, then you cannot get along, kind of, right? You can't heal yourself. You certainly can't assist anybody else to heal. Letting yourself feel good about the way you communicate and making sure that you're doing it well, that you're continuing, you're not stopping. Stop a bit to think, but don't forget to start to communicate again. It's really key. It's really key. That's what they're telling me. So, okay. All right. And so here we have medicine woman. Now, have a good look at that there. What does that say to you? What does that say? Some of you are like, oh, that's like a little far out there for me. And some of you are like, yeah, I really identify with that. Now, this is non-gender specific. Medicine woman, medicine man, whatever, same thing, right? It's the energy of the medicine, of the healing, of the the communication with the divine that is the key part of this, right? And so healing yourself, and we're back to communication again. Healing yourself in the ways of communicating is a real, it is so important. It's like the basis of everything that you want to do, right? As long as you can be calm. So lacking drama, lacking anger, not lacking emotion, but lacking the things that will push people away, right? Being sincere is definitely an emotion, right? And you absolutely need to be able to show that when you are sincere, right? And so we're back now to this communication. So this divine communication is a real healing power. And so I'm hearing that you need to start with yourself, and then others will be able to kind of pick it up along with you. So it feels like somebody else has been stopped in their communication because of yours, or something like that. It's not quite clear to me, so you take it how that resonates. Either way, we're talking about you. We're talking about you healing yourself, being able to communicate with the world around you and with your divine power. And those are huge things. Those are huge things. Okay. You have a gift for working with young people. And so yeah, this means, okay, some of you are actually teachers. Some of you are daycare workers. Some of you, it's telling me that young people doesn't need to be just children. It means just people who are learning. So perhaps, higher education, things like that, right? And you have a real gift for working with those people. And they enjoy learning from you. And you're being reminded that you also learn from them. And remember all this stuff that was just said about communication, right? You have to keep that up. You have to explain things in a way that they can understand. And so, okay, now they're telling me, for many of you, this is an informal environment. It's not specifically a school or, any other kind of institution. Maybe it's just that, the neighborhood kids are around a lot, right? And you enjoy having fun with them, right? And so all those things, it's part of your life to hang out with these people who are younger than you and be a mentor in a lot of ways to these people. So again, like whether formal or informal, it's part of your calling. Yes. It's part of, they call it your divine purpose here. And so have fun with that. Continue to have fun with that, because that whole feeling makes me, I can't stop smiling when I think about that part of you, right? And so that's an indication that that's how you feel about that. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. And here we have some boundaries. So, okay. So it turns out there is a real theme, which is the communication. You can have boundaries all you want, but if you never tell anybody about them, how much good are they going to do you? Right? If somebody says to you all the time, maybe they make fun of your name, or maybe they're not even making fun of it, but they've shortened it somehow, or, some other way, made it a nickname, and you really don't like that. Well, if you don't tell them, they will never know that you don't like that. Now, sometimes you're in a position where you feel vulnerable about that, and sometimes the other person, no matter what you say, will refuse to respect that boundary. That, as soon as you say, I prefer that you call me this all the time, and that really ramps them up, and then they have to make it bigger and make it more. And we all know somebody who's like that, right? Who thinks that, ooh, now they've found a chink in your armor, and so they have to pick at it. There are ways, to simply defuse that situation. Laughing about it is not one, right? Make it very clear that, no, this is your boundary. You can't make them follow it. However, you can refuse to respond when they, call you something that you don't agree with. You can very, very definitely make it so that the people around both of you understand fully that there's a lack of respect coming back to you. And pretty soon, like even in grade school, honestly, when there's a lack of respect coming and others all around understand that, it eventually turns around so that other person is not quite rejected, but it comes to their awareness that all the people around them who they're trying to impress are not impressed. Like, it does come around. It takes a while. So your job in the meantime is to just maintain your boundary. If you don't respond to different names and things like that, well, they're not talking to you. Right? And so then they're having zero effect upon you because that's not your name. You don't respond to that. Right? That's what they're telling me. So other things too, other boundaries that you may have, things that you consent to for your own self, you get to stay with that. Yeah. And you get to be safe within that, is how that feels. It feels like you are safe, you are cocooned. It feels like the only thing that is a threat to that is your attention. Yeah. So if you start going, oh my gosh, I'm so, everything wants to go this way, maybe I should be going that way, and even though I really don't want to, and no, you stay where you're at. You're fine. You are safe. Yeah. Somehow this message of safety needs to come through, and communication. You have to be very clear in what your decisions are for yourself and what you will allow for treatment towards you. Yes, you have to be clear. You have to learn how to communicate that way. Okay. All right. So we have the daily guidance cards, one last bit of wisdom from your angels. And they say, focus on service. What feels good to do for people, humanity, the world, the earth, whatever, yourself? Focus on service. Focus on assisting everything around you to be more beautiful and to flow more smoothly. There are people who think that being in service is a demeaning thing. And it is, in fact, exactly the opposite. I think we've gotten that idea from, restaurants and things like that, where people are like, bring me this and be quick about it, that kind of stuff. This is not what we're talking about here. We are talking about assisting mankind, helping the world be a better place, helping everything flow better. That's what we're talking about. And so your angels are sitting there going, okay, you can stop explaining that. They know. All right, then I'll stop. Okay, let's do some of that right now. So You see this globe here back behind there on the bookshelf. It's actually quite a ways away from me. I can't reach it. So, so let's put some service into the world. Let's create it here, get this energy flowing, and let's have this globe under our hands, representing, of course, the entire world. And let us flow some service to everyone who's trying to get something done, everyone who is experiencing maybe little glitches or things like that. We're just going to smooth it all out, straighten out the wires so that the energy can flow. That's fabulous. Thank you so much. Okay, Cancer, I want you to know how much I appreciate you and how much I love you, and I'll see you next week.